After 1.5 years of anticipation and really big procrastination, I finally decided to read Rebecca Yarros's Ironflame. Safe to say that I have read the first book around 1.5 years before starting this one, and the reason why I didn't start it is just sheer fear for the amount and the size of this book. In my language, it's 1100 pages. That's a lot. Also, 250k words. That's also a lot. I just couldn't imagine what she had to say that is this much, so I kind of put it off. But now that I did it, honestly, torture. I didn't hate the book, but I also didn't like it. So I'm going to tell you about the book, basically, why I hated it, what are parts that I liked in it, and why I still bought the third one. So let's go. So the book is divided into two parts. I didn't figure it out until I got to the second part, which is at page 600 something, I think. So what's happening in the first part, you may ask? Well, the gang is in Aratia, there, the place in Terrandor that is like their base, basically, for the rebellion. They're talking about the goals that they have for this book. You know, they need a luminar, they need a furnace to make weapons and stuff like that. And they pull up to Basgiath, the whole gang, you know, everybody that was in Resson in the first book. And they just, YOLO, they're like, yeah, surprise, bitch.
I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
He is being put to Samara, which is basically at the border, and Violet is like very afraid for him, but also she hates him because they have this weird ass thing that happened in the first book. It's really confusing. I'm going to talk about it later on. And then the bad guy, the evil bad guy, who's going to be a problem for the first half of this book, spoiler, called Varish, pulls up, who is like, I don't know, I imagine him bald. I looked up at Reddit, and this is how the people imagine him. He's like so annoying. Honestly, he was like rage baiting me the whole way. And then, you know, he's like kind of like ominous. Also, Dane's dad is evil as heck. Like, what the fuck? And, you know, like weird people like cadets, like from the first year. We get introduced to the other first years because she's a second year now. We get introduced to these guys, and they try to kill Violet, like all of them, or the marked ones at least. And it was like very ominous, and everybody thought that they got some type of poison in them. Spoiler alert, they didn't. So yeah, also there is this thing in Basgiath where the second years get like randomly tortured. Like, I'm not even kidding, like they just get tortured to like get their like capability up. So they do, but they escape, so they get like really like a pat on the back, like good job. They make up, they kind of make up for the relationship. Like I said, they had this going back and forth for like a hot minute because they were only able to mate once a week because, you know, their dragons were mated, so they had to mate. But like she was like, oh no, I don't want to be close to you because like you're not true to me. And he's like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he's like, well, I don't want to be with you if you don't love me, only my body. And she's like, okay, well, I can love a man who's not true to me. Like Violet, I'm so small, Sorengel is really pissing me off around these scenes, but yeah, they make up. Finally, more on that later, like I said. And then the evil blonde guy, also called Jack Barlow, gets resurrected for some reason. Like this guy really thinks he's a cat. Like, he cannot die. Like, I was so happy when he died. But yeah, he gets resurrected and he's chill. He turns into a chill guy, and it's really like off-putting.
You should be off-putting.
Because like, what is happening? They decide to do a Mission Impossible in the archives. They want to steal like 2 books. They succeed. They get caught. One of the books don't escape, the other does. Violet gets really brutally tortured, and during that she is hallucinating the best side character that somehow got killed off in the first book, Liam. Yeah, I'm going to be a man, and I'm going to be true to you guys. The only time I cried during this book and during this series is when Liam was on page in the second book and when he died in the first one. Yeah, I love Liam. Probably one of the best written characters by Rebecca Yarros. Safe to say, I loved him so much. But don't worry about the torture. Dada comes to save her. He basically kills everyone, and then he's like, okay, let's steal the other cadets from Basgiath. So they do. Also, Dane joins them. I don't know if any of you guys remember Dane. I just knew not to trust him the moment it was mentioned that he has a beard. I just don't trust men with beards. I'm sorry, like, it's like really, it's like impulse. But yeah, now let's talk about what pissed me off in this part. Because like I said, I'm a hater, and I'm going to hate. So, this relationship has to go. I knew it at the end of the first book, and I know it here, that it has to go. Why, you may ask? Well, I'm going to tell you why, now that you ask me. Because these two people do not, match in that way. They're like oil and water, or whatever the English says. They do not match together. Violet is always whining about her wanting Xaden to be true to her, but whenever Xaden is honest, she pisses herself off because he said something that she didn't like. Girl, BFFR. What is wrong with you? Literally, what is wrong with you? And also, Xaden is always like, oh, but I don't want to sleep with you if you don't love me, bitch. I totally respect him for that, because honestly, yes, Diva, I love that for you. I was so confused in the first book how they got together. I'm even more confused in the second one. Where did these emotions come from? And this is why I didn't really feel anything when they were arguing. Anything except for annoyance. Because it was every second chapter they just met and the tension was so high. And they were staring into each other's eyes very longingly. And she was like, oh yeah, Zaddy, I love you. I mean, I don't love you. I cannot say that I love you. I literally told everybody else in my fucking quadrant that I love you, but not you. I will never tell you that I love you, because I'm not ready for these words. And the time she realizes that, these words are there and she tells him is when she gets tortured because she thinks that she's going to die. Anyways, I don't hate the side characters, okay? The thing I hate is that how the side characters are more interesting than the main character. It's just annoying, because what do you mean the only person that I resent in this book is the girl whose perspective we're reading this whole thing from? Oh my god, I started reading Ironflame right after finishing Catching Fire, and I was so not used to an annoying female main character. If you know, you know, Katniss Everdeen, Moggs. This girl does not. Violet, she kind of grew on me by the end of the book, but she was so annoying in most of these cases. She was more annoying in the first book, but still, I couldn't really stand her, if I'm being honest. And another thing, that it was actually my friend who brought it up, because I was reading in school and I was telling her about Imogen. And if you know, Imogen has pink hair. And she looked at me and she was like, we're in this medieval setting. People probably shit in buckets. And you're telling me that this world has hair paint and nail polish. And honestly, this is the realest critique I have about this book. Maybe I get things wrong, but in a medieval setting, we're having nail polish and hair paint. I don't know, it was just so weird for me to read. And after I realized, it just clicked that so many people paint their hair and their nails. And it just makes no sense, because how are you doing that? The other thing that really confused me, it's kind of like a technical thing. How is Violet's power the most powerful? I'm sorry, I just don't understand, because of course she can make lightning before the thunder, but she is also cannot control it. And I don't know, I'm just asking too many questions. Okay, let's move on to the second part, because that's where the things happen, or at least you would think, because like I said, the tension went up. We got the torture scene. It was the peak of the book. I couldn't put it down. I'm actually honest here, as much as I hate to admit it. You can't put it down, and then the tension drops and dies, and you still have 500 pages and you're wondering what the heck is going on. Let me tell you what the heck is going on. There were so many parts of the second part of this book that could have been just deleted. Honestly, I don't know what her editor thought. Maybe she just wanted all of these books to be chunky, but honestly, so many useless stuff happened here. But so I'm only going to tell you the important parts, because most of these are not important, and I honestly forgot about them, even though I finished the book yesterday. So let's see. So obviously we stole half the cadets. We go to Ateria. We go there, and some other writers, actual adult writers, including Mira, come as well. And let me talk about Mira Sorrengal for a second, because in the midst of so many annoying scenes and people, she is the only person I adored through every one of them. And every action she made, I thought was valid. Because Mira Sorrengal is me in many situations. She's actually relatable, which is very rare for me, because Brennan was alive, your brother was alive, and what Violet does, she rolls over like a little puppy, yes, brother, yes, I love you, oh my god, you're so cool, please mend me. What Mira does, as one would, she punches the shit out of him. I love that for her. I think she's very real. I think she's like me. Then we go to Viscount Decorus. Viscount Decorus lives in the other kingdom, whose name I also cannot pronounce, so I'm not even going to attempt that. Actually, I changed my mind. Poromiel. Poromil. Yeah, we go to Poromil. We go and meet Viscount Decorous. I've been calling him Viscount, but I looked it up and apparently it's Viscount. You learn something new every day. In the first part, when Bodhi walks Violet to her dragon, he basically mentions that he didn't think that Xaden would love anyone as much as he loved Catriona. And obviously Violet is like, who the fuck is Catriona? But you know, we meet her like once before in like a smaller scene, and she's like very bitter towards like Xaden having like a girlfriend now, you know. She looks at him like longingly, and we finally meet Catriona, aka Cat, aka a woman I cannot stand. Oh my freaking god, I cannot stand her. So we meet her, and turns out that she's a little nepo baby, because the queen of Poromil has no children, no heirs, so Viscount Decorous is the heir, and Kat is like Viscount Decorous' niece, and so, you know, she's basically the heir of Poromil. She's a griff rider. She has this ability to make people's emotions like stronger, and because of this, Violet basically gets murderous thoughts, and this is the only part of the book where I 100% relate to her, because I cannot stand that girl. I cannot stand her. By the end of it, we kind of respect her, I suppose, but honestly, with the scene where she had the same fighting style as Xaden, like, she let that slide too easily. Like, they had a fight where basically, like, she wanted to get the throne. Their exes with Xaden, they were betrothed, and she's like, that's going to be my crown, and Violet is like, what crown? We don't have any crowns. And she's like, no, it's going to be mine, and they have this cat fight, and Violet almost kills her, and then Zaddy is like, no girl, don't do that, like, stop. So yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm going to give you the Luminar if you do magic for me, little Violet. And Violet is like, well girl, I can try, but I cannot aim. And they fight with this Venom, you know, he dies. Xaden is very pissed. This guy, Deckers, wants Violet to his collection. You know, he's like, be my bodyguard, that would be so cool. And she's like, no girl, that's not going to happen. And so he's like, okay, you can have the Luminar, but you have to bring every single Griff Rider back to Oratia. Oratia, I think that's how you pronounce it. Because Griff Rider's university or academy has been destroyed by Venom. Smut. Yeah, here as well. Like, we have a bunch of smut in this part of the book, which is like, I wouldn't call it that annoying, because I feel like we had way more smut in the first book than the second. And this is actually a positive thing for me, that Rebecca Yarros mentions that these two people fuck, but we don't have to witness them fucking, which is like a very good addition, because honestly, as much as they grew on me, I don't want to hear Xaden's story talk. Like, I don't care, girl. Like, things are private for a reason. But yeah, we have this iconic line that a lot of like women get off to. My house, my chair, my woman. Girl, shut your bitch ass up. I don't care about that. I didn't mention this before, but Violet has got this diary and she's trying to translate it from a different language, and she got the help of Dane, and they kind of figured out, but they have this rock that basically creates the magic barrier, and they originally thought that they have to put blood on it, but apparently they have to light it on fire by the 6 types of dragon, and the strongest one of them. And good thing that her dragon, I mean one of them, the big one, Tyrn, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the dragon's names. Like, what even? Like, I feel like every single dragon name that we have is basically just Rebecca Yarros doing like a keyboard smash. They're like so stupid, like Zgil, like I don't know how you pronounce her name as well, even though she's my favorite dragon. But yeah, we kind of figured this one out. But she's like, I'm not going to do the magic barrier yet. But then we have an attack, and we do. So she makes the magic barrier and it works, but it's like not complete. They're like, something is fishy about this magic barrier, I don't know about you. So that's a problem for later, because turns out, while we're at this, that Xaden has a little secret. Because like I said, this relationship is very, very unstable. Xaden is like, I'm going to be honest, Diva, just ask me your questions. And she never asks. For example, turns out that he has like 107 cuts on his back, and all is for one marked one. So, you know, they don't die and they can come to the Rider Squadron. And apparently he has one won over his heart, and that's for her. Oh, how romantic. The thing that makes it even more romantic is that it was her mom who would do stuff on him. Yeah, we still don't know why she did that. And she's like, no, I don't want to know, to be honest. And they have an argument about this, and then she's like, okay, I'm going to ask you one thing, and you have to be honest. What's your second signet? And, he's like, what the fuck, girl? Why are you asking me this? Because apparently your direct ancestor had the same dragon as you did. Then you either get a second signet or your original one gets like way stronger. And Zayden wrote letters to Violet for them to get to know each other, because this is how good of the relationship they have. But yeah, and one of them, he mentioned that his grandpa was the former writer of Scale. Kind of feels like I'm just like, I don't know, like trying to burp and then come out unsuccessful. But yeah, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to tell you because you're going to fall out of love with me. And she's like, no, I'm going to guess then because I'm smart. That's the whole thing about Violet. Like, she's like, yeah, I might be small, but I'm very smart, so I'm going to guess it. And she does. And turns out that Zayden's second signet is mind reading. Well, not exactly mind reading. It's like he can read the intention of people, but it's like so super duper secret that nobody knows about this, because the thing about the signets is that if you get mind reading, you just get killed. Like, they don't even hesitate. They just kill you right off the bat. Like, there are some like exceptions, like with Dane, because he can only read memories and not minds. He was like, yeah, girl, like if they find this out, I'm like done for. And Violet is like, oh shit, I actually hate you now. This is so ridiculous. Do you get what I'm talking about? Like, she asks a question, she's mad that he's not honest, he becomes honest, and then she gets mad at the answer that she's getting. Like, what were you expecting? So she gets mad because in the first book they kissed when the dragons were having sexy time. Like, she's like, so you were able to see my intentions of wanting to kiss you? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, yeah, we're done. And he was like, see, less than a minute, that's how long it took for you to fall out of love with me. Girl, like, even the dragons are mad. Like, Thorn gets mad as well at Scale. I cannot take this seriously. All of these dragons' names are so stupid. But yeah, so they have this argument, and then they get a call from none other than Malgren. That's his name. Malgren is kind of like the head of the army. He's like a general, and he has this ability where he can like see the future ahead of time, except when there are more than 3 marked ones together, then he can't. So he's basically like, hey gang, so it's so good for you to do this like uprising and shit, but like I saw the future and we're literally all going to die. Magic barrier around Navarre is going to fall on the winter solstice, and they're like, please help us, please, I didn't see you in my vision on the battle, please help us. And they're like, yeah, bitch, no, we're not doing that. And so then Brennan pulls up. Brennan was presumed dead for 6 years, and then he pulls up, sees his mom, and his mom is like very sad because he thought that his son died. Like, she kind of sent him to the front line, and that's why he died. Apparently died, he didn't. But yeah, and he's like, yeah, gang, we are not doing that. Like, you're on your own, kid. We are on our own. Like, have fun dying. Bye. And Violet is like, yeah, gang, this is not okay, because the thing that the whole rebellion stands against is letting the people from Poromil dying, like the citizens. And if the magic barrier falls, like, so many citizens are going to die who are not within the magic barrier of Oratia, which isn't even complete. So Violet tells it to Shadow Daddy, like, stop, like, we're going. She's like, we're not going to Samara, we're going somewhere else, because, they have a lot of marked ones, so Magran didn't really see what happens to them. So she's like, we're going to Basquiat. We're going to Basquiat because the magic stone that they have is in Basquiat. And, Zayden is like, okay, girl, lead the way. So they go. And we have an epic battle scene. Turns out that a very evil blonde guy who got resurrected never died because he turned Wenin. Whoa, crazy. And not only did he turn Wenin, he killed his own dragon right in front of everyone before destroying the magic barrier. Like, he's the reason the magic barrier falls. And everybody's like, what the heck did you do, man? Like, you killed your own dragon. If you have a dragon and your dragon dies, you die with it. It's like a thing it happened to Liam in the first book. And so everybody's like, Jack, you have like 2 minutes left. And he's like, no, haha, I'm stronger than that. Like, I'm not weak like that. So he doesn't die, but he did turn venom. Like the second half of the first book, he was already venom. Like by the time he died, he was already dead. So he was like stronger, I suppose. And he's like, yeah, we had venoms all along. So I'm not sure if it's confirmed or not, but in my theory, all the people and the cadets who tried to kill them, like in the first half of the book, like the first years and all, they were all venoms, because it's like mentioned that their eyes are like red and whatever. Like, shit is going down because the magic barrier is down and like 10,000 wyverns are coming and like a lot of venom, and everybody's like, oh shit, we're cooked. So we have this battle scene. Honestly, it was the most boring battle scene that I've ever read. Like, I didn't have fun during Asambine in the first book. I didn't have fun here. It's basically, like, the only important things that happens here is Violet almost burns out and that my Pookie Sayer, his legs gets bitten off. And honestly, he's stupid. Like, you have a wyvern like literally biting your dragon, and your first idea is to kick its head. What do you think he's going to do? Of course he's going to bite your leg off. So his leg gets bitten off, and you know, he's like almost dies, but Violet saves him because she be like that. And the sad part about this whole battle, like a lot of things are happening during this battle. First of all, Brennan can mend the magic block together. Like, he also pulls up by the end of it. Like, he's like, yeah guys, I'm going to fight, I'm nice like that. Violet kind of figures out, like, wait a minute, Andarna, that's the name of her other dragon. Andarna, you're not really black. Are you? And Andarna is like, yeah, I'm not, I'm different. She's like, the 7th breed, we have one diary of one guy who says that they need the flames of 6 dragons, and there's another diary that says that it needs the flame of 7 dragons. Oh my god. So yeah, we need 6 or 7 dragons to get this done. And Violet figures out that the 7th type of dragon is Andarna. I think she's purple. I honestly, or like she has like she's like a chameleon. I don't know. But turns out that she's like old as heck. Like, she was in that egg for 650 years waiting for her. I really don't know about this, but yeah, you have to put power into the stone, and so Violet does that. She almost burns out. Then Mama Sorrengail is like, I gotta do it for my girl. So she kind of like puts all of her energy, all of hers and her dragon's magic into the like thing, and she dies. So yeah, Mama Sorrengail is dead, and honestly, she will be missed. I really love how her character acted. I think it was very accurate. Like, the fact that mothers are willing to do anything for the safety of their children, I think it's very accurate. And I can see it being accurate because Rebecca Yarros herself is a mother, so I feel like she put a lot of herself into Lilith Sorrengail. But yeah, so she dies. You know, the kids are sad, obviously, because their mom just died. And then we have the final plot twist of the entire book. Xaden turned venom. Dumb. Oh my god. Honestly, I did not expect that, but also I'm not surprised. I don't know about this. I preferred the first plot twist in the first book. This one is basically just like, yeah guys, we gotta do something to reach the 5 book mark that we need for this series. And honestly, I'm really confused how he turned venom. I'm really confused when he turned venom. Maybe I'm just bad at context clues and did not understand this. But yeah, he does turn venom, and you know, Jack is still alive, and their final conversation is like, yeah girl, we're bros now. Family sticks together, I guess. And Xaden is like, oh no, there is something we need to do in the 3rd book. And probably that's what the 3rd book is going to be about. But oh well. So I'm going to give some stuff that I want to give about the whole thing, because there are some positives and there are some negatives. I mentioned a few before, but here are some that I really thought were weird. Like, first of all, I mentioned the relationship. I mentioned how I think it's going over. I feel like it's emotionless. I feel like it's forced. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's no emotional ground for them to have these strong feelings for each other other than physical attraction. Because Xaden is always like, oh my god, I love you. Like, I would die for you. Like, there is no place on earth for me where you're not there. Like, how do you get these emotions? I would really love some more chapters from Xaden's point of view. Maybe that would help for me to understand what the heck he's going through. But like, other than that, I feel like he's just there. Like, they don't have anything deep. You get me? Like, I read the Hunger Games. Like I said, I was just reading the Hunger Games, and I love how Katniss and Peeta are together and their deep bond, I suppose. Or like, you know, it's an in their soul, if you get me. They have this strong connection, and these two have nothing compared to them or compared to anything. Pip and Raby, maybe, you get me. They have this mutual love for each other, but also this deeper connection. And the fact that, first of all, Violet got so mad that like the entire conflict of their relationship is stupid. Like, Violet is mad at Xaden, the guy she has been sleeping with for what, like 2 or 3 months. She gets mad that the guy she has been sleeping with for 2 or 3 months didn't tell her that he is leading a freaking rebellion against her kingdom specifically. What did you expect? Diva, what did you expect for him to do? To tell you in your first like yeah, by the way, I'm like planning on destroying this whole place. Your mom included, by the way. Just mentioning. Like, I really have no idea about this. Also, it's like, I don't know, like, she gets mad at this and she's like, yeah, I don't trust you anymore. And this whole back and forth, like, yeah, I don't trust you. Yeah, ask me anything. I don't want to ask you anything. Then why are you jealous? I don't know. It's like so annoying. Like, guys, this is not 5th grade. Like, get a grip and get yourself together. Violet Sorrengail, get your shit together. But yeah, I didn't like the relationship. I don't like this still. I feel like it could have been so much deeper, and I feel like them getting together was rushed as fuck. Like, I think they should have gotten together in the second book. I think the first book should have been just tension building. Like, you have 5 books to explore this relationship and you are just doing nothing with it. Like, it exploded at some point and now the explosion is going to die and it's going to be completely dead by the end of the 5th book. I really don't get why is it like that. Like, I don't know how it's built that way, and if it ever comes to Dane being the love interest finally, somebody is going to die. So the relationship has to go. Like, I'm being honest. And the deaths have to go as well. Like, I get it. Rebecca Yarros really wants us to believe that this world is brutal and unforgiving and hard, and it will not show mercy. And by that, I mean that there's some random person whose name gets suddenly mentioned a lot of times, and then like 50 pages later, they just die. Okay, I don't care personally. I don't think anybody cares. It's just so pointless. Like, yes, we get it. This is a brutal world. This is war. This is a war college. People die. But it's just so useless that, for example, Vizia, her name was mentioned throughout the books like 5 or 6 times. Like, she got a minor part at the end and she just died. Like, she got one shot by a dragon. What was the point? Like, why did you put her in if you are going to kill her 5 pages later? I just don't get it. Also, the side characters as well. I get it, you have to introduce them first, but we got like so many interesting people that I really hope we will explore more in Onyx Storm. Yeah, Onyx Storm. For example, Eric Greycastle or Cam. Like, that guy is royalty. And he has like insane beef with Xaden, and we got nothing of him. Absolutely nothing. He was on page like 5 times, and he is the guy I'm most interested about, because what do you mean the king's 3rd son is there and his brother also died by the hand of Xaden Ryerson? Like, what are we doing? Another person I was really interested about is of course Sloane. She's the sister of Liam, my goat. Also, we have like a bunch of interesting people. Like, we have like Imogen, Garrick, Bodhi, like these people I'm so interested about. And all I hear about is Xaden this, Xaden that, violence, what are you doing? It's like, give us more, give me more. I'm interested about more people. It just gets boring. Also, I'm going to be really honest with this, Riddoch is not funny anymore. He was hilarious in the first book. I don't know if it was just me then reading it, but Riddoch was freaking hilarious in the first book. I laughed so much at what he said. Like, he made me like cackle out loud because he was just so funny. And now he's just all the same. He's like so boring. I don't know. His humor is going away. Like I said, Violet's power is also weird. Like, her second side net went away in the second book because Andarna turned into an adolescent. So she kind of lost the time-stopping powers, which I think is so much more powerful than the lighting ones. I don't know. Like, I get it. She can like one-shot. Like, it doesn't worth anything because she cannot freaking aim. She has like a 1 in 15 chances of like actually getting to you. And if she does, like, it's maximum power. But other than that, it's nothing. It's just so weird. Like, of course, like, she can go around and play Zeus. Like, yes, I'm the king of the skies. But like, girl, you cannot do anything about that. I just don't get it. But let's talk about some good things that I like, because I'm going to be positive here as well. I'm not, actually. I think that the things that I like in this world is the world building. We didn't see a lot of it, but I really like how the quadrant and the university system is built up. I think it's very throughout. It's really cool. We didn't see a lot about the parts of Navarre. We only see like 2 or 3 parts of it. That's not a lot. And also not Poromil. Yeah. But I think in the 3rd book we're going to different islands we're going to fly to, which is going to be exciting. And yeah, I also like the magic and the rune system. I think it's interesting how it's built up. I really like how you have to like mentally like do things, you know, like that part. I found that very interesting and very cool, even reading the 1st book. And yeah, and also like Lilith and Mirror Soringa. Those 2 I liked. The others I didn't. Yeah. This is it about the positives. I think it was okay. I rated this book already. I gave it a 4-star, 4.3 if I'm being honest. It could have been worse, but there were some pages that I was just so annoyed at, and so many pointless scenes. Like, I am not even kidding. The 2nd part of the book, half of it I literally did not even mention because it had nothing to do with the story. It was basically just her wanting to reach the 1000 page mark. Like, that's it. It was like so pointless and useless, and the tension literally went up, fell after she got out of the torture chamber, and just kind of like wanted to like sparkle a little bit, and then it went a little bit more up at the final battle and just died. After, I mean, it kind of stayed up because, you know, like Satan is a winning, but other than that, it's just there. Like, I feel like the 2nd part of it was really pointless, a lot of parts of it. But other than that, I think the story-wise, especially the 1st one, it was really good. I wouldn't call it brilliant. I'm not going that far. But I feel like it was very fun to read and, you know, just get into the universe. And honestly, I did, you know, Violet did grow on me after a while. You know, I was rooting for her, and she wasn't complaining that much about her ankles and, like, knees and joints. I know she has a chronic illness. I know she does. But yeah. It's really interesting, and I'm really excited about the 3rd book. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I already bought the 3rd book, so I will be reading Onyx Storm very, very soon. So yeah, this is it about my little rant. It wasn't very like organized or anything. I just said what I thought. And if you think that I missed anything, or if you have any thoughts or stuff about what I said, make sure to write it down in the comments down below, because I'm really excited to hear about other people's opinions. And also, please no spoilers, because I have no idea what's going on in Onyx Storm, and I hope it to stay that way. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed hearing me yap, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Bye!